Let me ask you something. How many productivity and habit apps do you have in the depths of your phone? How many self-development books and planners have you got collecting dust on your bookshelves? Or how many courses have you started thinking, this is going to change my life, and you only get a fraction of the way through? I call these things the graveyard. And here's what I need you to hear, is that all these things are not proof that you're not trying hard enough. It's not evidence that you're broken or not disciplined. And it's not evidence that these tools don't work. What it is just evidence that you've been given tools at the wrong time and you haven't approached things in the right order yet. Let me explain. For years, I thought discipline was my problem. And I followed all the self-development gurus like Tony Robbins and did what I thought was going to change my life. I downloaded the productivity and the habit apps. I got the journals, I got the planners. I tried the meditation and the cold showers and the exercise. But as soon as a curveball was thrown my way, it all came crashing down, no matter how good my morning routine was. What I didn't realize was that my brain was running on suboptimal sleep. I was going to bed at the wrong times and I was snoozing through my alarms in the morning. I was then getting energy crashes as I didn't know what I was doing with my nutrition. I was eating the wrong foods for my body. This was making me super inflamed. It was giving me joint pain, making me overweight, and making my ADHD symptoms so much worse. Not to mention I was allowing in all sorts of stresses that my brain hadn't even acknowledged because I didn't know that they were actually forms of stress. I was trying to out-organize a brain that was running on empty. It's like standing in the kitchen, fanning away smoke with a tea towel while there's a huge raging fire going on the stove. So here's the lesson, and it's one that most people miss. So most ADHD advice and help goes after the symptoms. It goes after the messiness. It goes after the showing up late, the disorganization, the erratic thinking. So you get handed another technique to help this. But this is the thing, is that these things are the smoke and they're not the root. Now, the real fire underneath can be many different things. And I call these things bottlenecks. These bottlenecks are the things that are quietly draining your energy and your brain before you've even started your day. So these things can be things like your stress levels, your hormones, your stomach health or your gut health, the type of bacteria in your gut or the type of bacteria you're missing. It can be your blood sugar levels bouncing up and down, the emotional overwhelm you're facing, the stress at work, the environment you're in, a busy household, all the inner physiological and the outer external clutter essentially. And a lot of the time people don't connect these to ADHD at all. Sometimes yes, they'll brush over them, but they don't really get to the root and help you with them. And this is where people go wrong, is that they don't piece all of these together and work on them holistically. When all of this is a complete mess, the ADHD symptoms that you are struggling with get louder and louder until they're screaming at you. And this is why some people's ADHD can be so severe. Now, I'm not saying this isn't ADHD. It is, but ADHD doesn't show up in a vacuum. It's completely integrated with you and who you are. And this is what some people don't realize, is that sometimes severe is ADHD plus biochemical stress or nutrient deficiencies or blood sugar issues or poor sleep, and these things compound. I'm not saying these things aren't ADHD. What I'm saying is that ADHD is super integrated into us and it's linked holistically. It doesn't show up in a vacuum. And so this ADHD, it depends on your conditions and your environment and your base physiology. It's a bit like if you're looking at a computer and all you're looking at is the screen and not looking at the hardware of the computer when there's an error. There can be major issues and you need to explore these and get them fixed and running optimally. So this is where I want to gently challenge maybe something that you believe currently. You've maybe been told that ADHD is a condition and that you just have to accept it for what it is. And all you can do is just manage it as best you can, and that it's genetic and that nothing can be changed. And there's truth in that. You don't fight the brain that you have, you work with it. But accept it and improve the conditions around it are not two opposites. You can do both. You accept the brain and you change what you feed it and the environment around it. That's the bit that gets missed. It's not try harder, not just accept your limits and shrink your life to fit them and play safe in a safety bubble. It's something in between. It's explore your bottlenecks and understand them. Improve the environment and ease the load on the brain that's been struggling for too long. And to be really clear, this sits alongside your GP or your psychiatrist or medication if you take it. I'm not saying don't use these approaches. I'm saying let them do the diagnosis and use this approach to discover everything outside of the diagnosis that isn't being addressed. I'm not your doctor. I'm the one who helps support you once the doctor has done their job. So, in the next video, I'm going to walk you through the exact method that I use with myself and with those people that I work with, where we find the bottlenecks and we make change that actually lasts. None of these 30-day sprints or challenges, but a reset that actually sticks and works. I'll also answer the 3 things you might be thinking right now. Nothing works for me, or I'm too busy, or I'm not ready yet. I'd put money on these doubts being in the back of your mind, and it's completely normal. Watch the last video. This is the one that ties it all together and gets you moving forward with your ADHD.